Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Mad Shad. This is another episode of the Zoot Report. Let's get into this show. That's one way to, okay, I really didn't have a topic until now, and that is going to be crime. I mean, even though that alarm has nothing to do with crime, but I mean, well, yeah, it does. Crime. Does crime pay? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. When things start to get bad, which they are, you're going to see a lot more crime. Statistically, that's exactly what happens. We figure out a way to get what we need or get what we want. As in, you know, us as a species, whatever. Any species. You know, hyenas stealing a kill from the lions. Oh man, I wish I knew the name of the tribe. They're the lion punkers. They in Africa. And I seen this, man, fucking on a video documentary or some shit. These guys, 3 guys with spears. That's it. That's all they had. Spears and knives. They waited. They stood there and waited, like in plain view of the lion pride taking down an antelope. And as soon as they had started killing it, and the lions were starting to, you know, the males eat first, and then the females, and then the weaker males, or whatever. The males, the strong males, the alpha males, and then the weak males, and then the females eat. Well, in the midst of all that, these men, these tribal guys with just spears, just start calmly walking up, or not? They're running up, just calmly running up at a little trot. The lions were like, what the fuck? And scattered, and they cut off a hindquarter and walked, you know, slowly, like confidently walked away. They were like, what? I mean, like they just devoted an antelope from a lion's pride. Clearly a pride is enough to kill 3 men with spears and knives. But the boldness of it took them aback. Took them by surprise. They didn't know what to do. Even though they could have just ripped them to shreds. Right? But they didn't. And I'm sure there's some cases where, you know, they went to go steal a lion's kill and didn't happen. You know, so the more desperate things become, the more bold criminals and people who want stuff, or animals, whatever, want stuff, the more bold they become, and they just do it. So what does that mean? Well, crime has always kind of existed, and, you know, things like petty crime, or, you know, non-violent crime, thievery, robbery, you know, maybe some strong arm robbery if nobody's looking. But for the most part, it's like theft and things like that, right? A quote-unquote victimless crime. You know, people are lifting cars, they're stealing jewelry, they're stealing money, you know, they're breaking into houses, stealing things, shit like that. You know, you can see that that kind of happens anyway, you know, because we're clever, right? People are clever, and they'll oh, I need to slow the fuck down. I got no gas. Need to make it to the gas stop. But the more desperate things become, the more bold criminals are going to be. You see more home invasions. You see more in broad daylight robberies, if not killings. And there's the whole, grape thing as well. Right? That's when they just don't care, right? They just so gangsta. They're just going to do it in broad daylight. Boldness. It takes people aback. They're like, oh my God, what are you doing? What do we do here? Fortune favors the bold. Is that the SAS motto? Yeah. Fortune favors the bold. So crime will go up. Now, what does that mean for us? That means that things are going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous for you to carry anything, have anything. Even if you have a gun. 3 people show up with a gun. What do you? I mean, they think they outgun you. Then it's up to you to either just give it up. Hopefully you live and survive, or you fight it out, right? And if you're going to fight it out, you better be more tenacious than them or more trained, right? More violence. You have to more violence them. Be more violent. Violence of action. But if they've already rolled up on you and there's guns on you, I mean, it's already been well known that they'll just shoot a motherfucker and take a shit. Hell, they might just do that anyway. Just because they know everybody's got guns. I'm just saying. So if you're out walking around, you're carjackings, whatever. I mean, ladies, you got your purse on you, just snatch your purse. They already do this in other countries. The boldness is already there. Here we have this, I don't know, we're more polite, I guess. There's certain places where we're not. Tuck your chains in, put your rings in your pockets. Hide your bling bling, hide your car keys. Don't let them dangle from your belt, that kind of shit, right? If you got good, wear your work clothes out, not your not your expensive shoes, expensive pants, clothes, right? Don't wear that $54 hat. Don't wear those $300 shoes, or that jacket, because somebody gonna take it from you. That's what they do anyway. Certain places. So imagine before a shift event and during a shift event, right? You go from just crime, from straight up strong arm crime, to marauders banding together. Look at the stories of Katrina. Look at the stories of just about any other country, third world country, where there is no rule of law anyway. It's FAFO. And if you ain't part of any group or whatever, then you're just a high value loot drop. People live like this already. They don't carry money with them. They don't dress nice. They don't drive their nice cars. lot of gas in the vehicle because somebody's going to steal it. Right? The gas itself and the vehicle, maybe, whatever. Imagine living like that, because everybody wants your shit. And while you were at work, while you were away from the house, they already broke in, took all your guns. Them shits are gone. I mean, how? You better hide them. You better hide them real good. These motherfuckers know where they're at. They'll study you. We are the apex predator, and stealing, robbery and stealing is part of that nature, and we are extremely good at it. Homo sapien is extremely good at taking other people's shit and other animals' shit. Just take it, steal it, whatever. Find a way. And you know, we've talked about this before. I've heard this before. The werewolf prepper, right? That's part of that cunning. The cunning of human. They will fit and emote false emotions, gain your trust, and then rob you blind. Some straight up spy shit. You know, gain your trust, your confidence. You know, confide in them, whatever. You know, next thing you know, it's all gone. Right? Like my girlfriend that cleaned out my freaking apartment. Thieves in the night. Might makes right. Our founding fathers knew that, and that's why we have the 2A. That's why we have a lot of things that we do. And you know, I heard it said, and a lot of people like, well, you know, these are rights that the government gives. No, they're not the rights that the government gives us. It's the rights that we tell the government, stay the fuck back. These are our rights. You must honor them. So there's a difference. You know, are you asking for permission, or are you declaring your sovereignty? Are you declaring your dominance? Are you being bold? I don't know where I'm going with that. It just kind of works in. Tyranny, and that's crime too, right? I mean, if a large group of marauders band together, they got all the guns, they got all the they're straight up road warriors, right? Mad Max beyond the Thunderdome, you know. And they just spend their time going from town to town, village to village, you know, community to community, and just robbing them blind. Robbing, stealing, and killing. What stops that? Another group. Good men who stand ready in the dead of night to do bad things to bad people. A righteous indignation. That's what it takes. You know, for the most part, I mean, you look at places that are open carry, concealed carry, constitutional carry, there's not a lot of crime, per se. But there will be, because things get hard, the criminals will get bolder. And they will get guns as well. Better guns. And more of them. And I love the people that, you know, I love the armchair warriors on social media. Well, you come to my house, I'm going to fill you full of lead. Yeah, you're just one guy. You're just one guy in your house, in your apartment, and there's 20 of them. Who do you think is going to win? It's not going to be you. You might put up a good fight. Might take some down. You might even deter them from going any further. But just you shooting a few here and there is not going to stop them. Because then they'll know, like, wow, he's got guns. He's got ammo. He's got something worth protecting. He's probably got a stash of goods, foods, all kinds of stuff in there. So how about we just wait it out, or smoke him out, whatever. Siege warfare then. Now you're stuck in your house and you cannot sleep because the barbarians are at the gate. They have surrounded you. They won't allow you to sleep. They're watching, they're listening, they're learning. They've cut off your communications. They're jamming you. Right? They know you're just one person, maybe two people. Maybe you're one person with your elderly mom and, maybe some grandkids. Wow. I mean, how dire would that be? All right, I give you this. Maybe you've got a wife. Maybe you got a significant other. There's two of you. There you go. One sleeps. One's on watch. But are you going to be able to last that long? Because they're not going to stop. They're just going to continue to wait you out, to harass you, to wait for you to make a wrong move. Maybe you make a break for it. Maybe you run out of food, you run out of water, and that's it. Desperation kicks in, and you're opening up the door, blasting as you're running out. And they just pop you. Boom. Gotcha. Or they bust out a window and they're sniping you. You forgot to close the blinds, or they tore down the blinds in the middle of the night when you wasn't looking. They snuck somebody in. They went ninja on you. They cut a hole in the roof. They're crawling in slowly and slowly, very quietly. I mean, never underestimate the cunning and determination of mankind. Crime will ramp up. It's already starting to ramp up. So you gotta, not only do you have to protect your shit, you gotta have people to help protect your shit and theirs. That's where community comes in. That's where you create your own contract, your own civil contract, a community contract. Like, hey, we're gonna watch out for each other. But even then, you're gonna have folks in there. They're gonna steal things. Be working behind. Working behind the shadows. Maybe they're dealing with someone on the side. Maybe they're a plant from the Marauders. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You cannot rule out the let's go, lady. You cannot rule out the spies. You can't rule out the audacity, the bold nature of man. They will find a way to take your shit, to end you and take your shit. No one is untouchable. Cartels prove that. They get contracts all the time, and they just, it happens. You want somebody dead, boom, they get them. Same thing with the gang, same thing, whatever. It's just, you don't even if you know what's going to happen, you know what's going to happen. And you go to ground, right? They'll figure out a way to get you. You'll slip up. You'll go outside to take a piss, or you're tending to your garden, and there's everybody's on watch or whatever. They slip a little Mickey in the water supply, and everybody goes to sleep, and you don't wake up. Or if you don't even know it, you don't even know who's coming at you. You just go out to check your mail one day. Just blah 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 blah. Where you think you're on the run, and you go hiding, and you get you a hotel room, and you sign in as Joe Schmuckatelli. You pay with cash, and you're taking a shower. Next thing you know, the door opens up. You're just lit up. That's it. Done. They drive away. Squealing tires. What happened? Somebody got shot. Who did it? I don't know. He kicked his door down. Now you're just a statistic. Crime will ramp up. It's the cops are not always going to be there. The cops got their own families to deal with. I mean, Katrina, most of the police force walked away because they had their own families to protect. Get them out of the area. And beware of the government that says, "Hey, we're going to come back. We're here to help." Don't think that martial law is going to save you. The ones that are in the camouflage and running around in their MRATs and Humvees with automatic weapons, they'll see you with something, and they'll shoot you and take it. Like, okay, I'm just gonna take it. There's a case in Hurricane Hugo where the National Guard was literally like grabbing things out of the water, out of people's homes. Looting. They were looting on their own. Like, hey, let's just throw this in the back of the Hummer. Nobody I know. Let's throw this. Hey, I found a bunch of guns and jewelry. Let's throw it in the back of the 5-ton. Nobody I know. We'll divvy it up later. Crimes of passion. Serial killers. There's some people that just want to run around and just kill people. There's more. There's crazy motherfuckers in this world, okay? Living amongst us that are just waiting. Well, no, actually, they're not waiting. They've been working and, working out there. I guess you could call it a fetish. I don't know. Where they just run around. Serial killers. Monsters, demons amongst us. They get away with it. A body's found. Dismembered and, whatever. What the fuck? Some bodies are not found. Right? So years later. That's your gym neighbors. Howdy, neighbor. On the weekends, he likes to, for every month or two, he goes to another town, or and takes a life, just because that's fun for him. Imagine if there's no rule of law, crime is rampant. Wow. And those are the apex of the apex predators. I mean, man. I mean, I remember, man, in the hood, whatever, in the hood and in the wood, shit just got stolen. I had a punching bag got stolen. I was in a neighborhood. I was in like a country kind of suburban area in Tennessee. Had a punching bag, tied up on a, right outside my house, right outside the porch. And these people drove up. My neighbors told me. Neighbors across the street said these guys drove up in a little truck, pulled right underneath it, cut the rope, and ran. Took off, gone. And I found out who it was. They did it out of spite. Like, damn, out of spite, just to do it. So a lot of this crime is just going to be, just to get away with it. I mean, you're already starting to see it. I mean, we've heard many stories of that. Especially in the riots, like all these kids would just show up in a freaking convenience store, just 30 to 40 of them, just snatch and grab, and run out the door. What the fuck? I mean, what are you gonna do? And it's so bold, right? It's so bold. It's just the shop owner is just like, what are y'all doing? Stop. And even if you try to stop somebody, you got 29 other kids that are just running around. They might hit you with something. They might shoot you. They might stab you. And look at Europe, look at Britain, look at Ireland. There's so many just on top of that crime, and you've got all these groups, jihadis that are just like, okay, mass stabbing, mass macheting, drive through a group of people. There's Irish car bombs going on. I heard of one story where domestic violence between a replacement immigrant, one of our finest. He could have been Somali, I don't know. Had a domestic dispute with his girlfriend. Showed up to stab her. When the cops showed up, he barricaded himself in the house and blew it up. Boom! IED that shit. Nobody got. I mean, I assume that he died, but a few of the cops got injured. The video is absolutely nuts. They're surrounding the house. They're about to kick the door in. They're about to do some dynamic action stuff, because I think maybe there's kids involved, right? So they're about to go in and do some headshots, and boom! Damn! They all just slam right to the ground. Crime, violent acts of crime. Violence of nature. And of course you got your Aunt Quifas. They're going to be very active. The John Brown clubs, the Trentifas. They're like, oh, hey, we get to play. All right. And it doesn't take much. Like I said, those who fortune favors the bold. If it's just a small group of people, and they're able to, take over an area, or just out of sheer numbers and boldness, what are you going to do with that? Unless you got your own group, Unless you got your own QRF. Good Lord. Gas is $4.95. I need gas, dude. You better be stronger than the strongest marauders and criminals in your area. It's not enough to be, you gotta work. You gotta have deterrence, and you've got to have force and violence of action. You got to let them know. They have to know that. Well, you mean business. That there will be retribution. That's how it works in the criminal world. You're only untouchable for so long. If they can't get you with just violence of action, dynamic entry, right? Kick your doors in, whatever. Then they'll resort to infiltration. Whatever. Car bombs. Drones. Drones are being used a lot. They're being used to jam. They're being used to steal. Actually, literally, like steal things. Drop off packages. Make holes in buildings and cars. Take people out. That's what they're being used a lot in Ukraine. Drone with a grenade on it. And like I said, crime. Yeah, there's going to be human trafficking, slavery. They just found a warehouse. I forget where. It was on S2. These guys were literally doing slavery in their compound, in their building. It was that's what they did. You went there and you bought and sold slaves of all kinds. That's what you do. You know what's going on. This is modern day. Like, damn. Imagine when shit really gets bad. Imagine that. Imagine when shit hits the fan, there's no rule of law. And it's survival of the fittest or the most cunning. Alright, I'm about to go spend a small fortune on gas here. Found one that's what is it, $4.89, $4.79 with cash. Let's see what I do. So thank you all for hanging out with me. This has been Mad Shad with another Zoot report. Crime.